So we will start our journey now. This is done and this is done. We never think, we never use our intellect. It is the same thing. We are not maintaining the self awareness. Third phrase, but it means the same. What? I had been into anxiety, fear, duality, conflict. We never think how many times over the last 10, 20, 50 years. And not only that, we continue to be into the anxiety, duality, conflict, stress. We repeat it continuously. So now compare these simple phrases. How long I'm going to repeat this? We point out, Dad, don't do this. You have done this in the past. What you have done, what you have been doing, don't you think that? It is all about last session. We discussed how do we change our perception towards the world outside and we can step into a higher awareness. There is another way to put it. What should we do to counter unfavorable conditions in our life? They will continue to come. But my perception to those challenges changes. And when the perception to those challenges changes, I'm living, I'm approaching to the self discovery. I told you, I think, in the perhaps couple of sessions before, that every principle of the Eastern wisdom begins with your experiences in daily life. Your experiences. And then Master says, do you want to change your experiences? Yes. Then first believe it, start the journey, prove it. You are there into the state of awakening. One is prison. Now I'm giving a metaphor. You have to think of it. Prison and a home. I was also in a prison long back in 1993. Did your ears stand up? In the northeastern part of India under a United Nations drug prevention program. I took care of rehabilitation of around 123 prison inmates who were opioid addicts. To be very clear that I was also in a prison, what it means. I qualified it. But why? What metaphor I'm giving you with the prison and the home? Two things. In the prison, you don't have locks inside. You have many layers of locks and security outside. What about home? When you are inside the home, you have cameras, security cameras, and you have strong locks so that no one and no intruder enters into it. But when you go out of the house, again, you have a very strong locks and closed circuit cameras to protect yourself. We have 8 locks, 8 steps that will take care of inside and outside. Prison, you have only the locks outside, strong security outside. When you apply these 8 locks or 8 steps, what are the 8 steps? Simple, smart, and clear. Acronym. When you apply this, the home becomes the sweet home. Home becomes the. So we were talking about journey of the self-discovery, and you are talking of sweet home. Yes, first we have to make home sweet home before we enter into the journey of the self-discovery. That is what we say, the purity of the mind. That is what we say, the purity of the mind. You are happy when you wake up from the sleep. I told you long ago that a smartwatch rates my sleep. Prakriti, nature controls even the waking state and the sleep. I woke up at 2:30. Normally people get upset. So I checked, oh, the score of sleep is 45. I said, okay, let us do meditation for an hour. By 3:30 and 4, the score was 65. Then I said, no, let me sit again. And now the score is 85. Almost. Barring few days, the score remains the same. Favorable and unfavorable conditions in your life. Seeker alone succeeds in the journey of the self-discovery. I'm still talking about these 8 steps in a different way so that it should enter inside your head, not only as a belief system, but then you start applying. Once you have a belief, you will start applying it. No issue when desire for happiness is fulfilled. All the issue pops up when my desire for happiness is not fulfilled. So before your mind has a particular desire to be fulfilled, you scan it by these 8 steps or 8 locks. If the desire is fulfilled, don't thank yourself. Thank the existence. If your desire is not fulfilled, apply the discernment and dispassion. Why? Because there is a strong realization in your life that if I go into anxiety, there is no benefit. If I enter into fear, there is no benefit. If I enter into duality, there is no benefit. For non-seekers, it is benefit. For the seekers, there is no benefit. We continue to live into the same state of, and modern science then says you have a chronic anxiety, you have a chronic depression. The word chronic is used when a particular illness continues for about 6 months or more. Don't you realize the chronic factors in your life for the last many years? Don't you think that now is the right time to get rid of those? We just talk in terms of success and failure and anxiety and the fear and the duality all the time, almost every day, almost every day, almost every day. So the last session, committing to the first 8 steps loosen the hold of suffering because ignorance is getting removed. Now, these 8 steps must show to you the change in behavior and attitude, the change in response to the people, to the world of events, pain, and the pleasure. If they do not change, I gave an example of, uh, you know, one doctor, $22,000 bill. I talked to Jerry the other day when we were together. But the mind was constantly working. Intellect was no, no, let me have. And at last I got a solution, let me have a second opinion, rather than getting distressed. And yes, luckily we found a solution. So these 8 steps helps you to understand the adverse and favorable conditions in your life. 8 locks outside. I don't want to allow anything which causes me the stress to inside my life. Think, think, think. You see that our life is a complex interplay between us, the external world, and our perception. Important, our perception, the way I perceive you and the way you perceive me. That is very important. The external world will remain as it is. So it means I have to check my perceptions in my daily life. Oh, my parents were crazy and they put me into that condition. That is why they should have squeezed your neck at the time of the birth. You are blaming your parents. Now, I'm not saying that do it, it's a metaphor. Thank them that they made you an adult, they gave you an opportunity to be an individual and you can treat the path of self-respect. I'm filled with the joy when Jerry and David were telling they are going to Canada to meet David's mom. That sense of perception should be there. Means that I should have that respect for everyone. Why? Otherwise, this mind will continue to create favorable and unfavorable situation in the world. And that is, we are not able to purify the mind. And when you don't purify the mind, these adverse and unfavorable situations will continue to come. Perception. I have to change my perception. It does not take anything. It is an internal. I have to think, contemplate, and reflect and change the perception in your life, and you will see that. Now, why the master is talking about this is laying a strong. Master says that you should have a strong conviction. Why? We are born with a wrong conviction. What is this wrong conviction? You see, pay attention now. Nature. Nature with reference to the body. What it means, nature with reference to the body? This body will take birth, will go under the process of childhood, youth, old age, will die. But I don't want to die. Perception, I don't want to die. Prakriti says you will die. You will die. Do you see the beauty? of understanding. I will continue to be healthy. Come on, my 66 years old teeth, how it can continue to be healthy. I look at that way. You cannot keep your car, which is now more than 25 years old, you cannot allow. You are not allowed. Close. Maximum 2 or 3 years. Do you see my perception and the conflict? My perception creates the conflict. So Prakriti. Now, take another example of the nature: waking, sleep, and dream. Coming from the nature, you don't have too much of control. You can have a variation. Can you stop sleeping? No. One of my colleagues in India did not sleep for 2 or 3 days, but on the fourth day, he used to come to the office and he used to sleep. So even the director has allowed him because he was very creative, a great scientist. We are doing the research together. Now he is immigrated he is in Houston. You cannot, nature, think first what nature offers. Can I live without food? No. Now look at the very simple examples. Do I want pain and discomfort in my life? No. I want a continuity of pleasure or happiness or joy. I want a continuity. You see, where, where, you see how our mind, I want to expand myself. How I expand myself to be rich, to have a big mansion, to have many cars, and etc., etc. To have a handsome husband or a beautiful wife, whatever it is. If you look at 8 billion or 9 billion people on the earth, we are doing more or less the same thing. We feel limited. Summary is, I feel limited, so I want to expand by possession, by experiencing the continuous pleasure. What our masters are saying, that you are of the nature of all pervading eternal self. You are of the nature of permanent peace and happiness. Do you see that? Even we intellectually understand, my friends, that conviction to come in my life takes time. That is the life of a seeker. Dog, I would, I am infinite. Beyond the need for food, shelter, clothes, and some professional necessities, why we want more wealth to expand myself. Yeah. According to American way, I have started understanding create and something, IRA fund, etc., etc. But we are running after it. So when you are running after it, you continue to have the feeling of being so limited and confined. And you want to realize the real self. It does not mean that you should not earn. You should not eat what you like. But perception towards the world must undergo a change. If they do not change in your life, then you will intellectually understand but you will fall short of realizing the real. So do whatever you are doing, but your perception changes. Oh, I'm helping you. No, existence is helping you through me. I changed my perception. Do you remember I told you this woman who is a senior manager in some jewelry brand, and her uh, perception towards her daughter. They are living very good now. I must change my perception that I am doing something, that I-ness also must go. That will create a favorable situation in your life. What are the favorable conditions? All my desires are being fulfilled, but I don't look at the very desire, whether this desire needs to be fulfilled or not. Receiving good news, extraction of the teeth, good news. Why? Because it is 66 years old. Your person change. So these 8 steps will help you to change your perception. See that. So when you look at these 8 steps, smart and clear, you should remember, oh, I have to study. I'm studying Eastern wisdom to study myself. Study myself, my thought, my speech, my action, then my behavior, my attitude, then my perception and my responses. This is all about 8 steps. So once you, I know that I'm infinite and all pervading, real self. I'm of the nature of real self. What I have a thinking in the beginning, mind says, okay, real somewhat outside. No, I am the real self. First, I am the real self and then prove it. You think. We're going deeper. Well, we are laying a strong foundation by these 8 steps. So our masters of the Eastern wisdom clears our perception towards the world and the relationship between the world and me as an individual. So what are inherent relations? I accept it. Another same example. This is 66 years old teeth, so it should be extracted. Why there has to be a lot of pain and lot of these issues? No, take it. Our relationship with our body, our senses, our mind, our intellect, ego are constant every day, every moment. Master is saying the Prakriti, the nature, the world also consists of 5 elements: mind, intellect, and ego. So this body mind complex is also consists of the same nature. I want to bypass the nature. That is one way of working in your life. I want to tune in with the nature. Childhood comes, goes. I told you, youth comes and goes. Old age comes and it never goes. It will happen to everyone. So I have to check how much impulsive nature, habits, ignorance, delusion, and foolish live every day. Which is responsible for creating an unfavorable situation in my life? Unfavorable situation in my life, and that will cause a pain, a reaction, hesitation, duality, conflict that continue to enter into the mind. So, how to change my perception? Now, next question. How to change my perception? From where I get the perception? From the mind, memories, prarabdha, and the past impression. Who is responsible to bring about a change? The knowledge. Where the knowledge has to live? In the intellect. What the intellect does to find the knowledge by contemplation and reflection. So, what the contemplation reflection points out, the power of discernment and dispassion. So, the clear second acronym is a message that I have to refine and define and redefine my life. It's a big task. It's a huge task. I'm a dad. It is very difficult to say sorry to my kids. Unfavorable situation. I have a tag, hashtag of unfavorable situation. I am not able to perceive the way my kids perceive their life. And I see them that they perceive their life because of this constant development in the society. So let me accept it wholeheartedly. The life changes. I'm giving you one example, simple example. But we want to have an illusion of control. And that illusion of control can be dropped, dissolved, and destroyed by the clear acronym, the last four steps. It demands a constant contemplation and reflection in your life, in every event. And the best thing to do, so you wake up in the morning, you check the nature. Oh, nature today appears to give me a sense of unrest or hesitation and duality. Let me take an action by the power of discernment. We know, let me enter into the meditative state or relax completely. But don't forget to analyze your daily activities. And simple question, how many times I was into anxiety reaction? I reacted inside, but I did not express it outside. It happens a lot of time. So what will happen? You continue to do it, you will recognize how I have to behave and act in a particular situation because it is guided by the discernment and dispassion. That is the last four steps. First five steps and the last four steps. Total 8 steps. I told you. So these 4 steps helps you. Favorable and unfavorable situation in your life. Change your perception. When you say the world outside is governed by the natural laws, very good. Very good understanding. That includes my body, mind, intellect, and egos. But my internal world has a second layer. What is that second layer? I have memories, I have past habits, I have emotions. They are sitting there. So, knowing that this body mind complex is also governed by the natural laws, why my past impressions, memories, my ego is interfering? Let me get rid of this interference. You will be happy in any situation, in any relationship. That we don't want. So we want to be happy, but my perception do not want to make me happy. So there is an inner conflict. So I have a dual personality. We say there is a problem of split personality. We give a different name. We all have a split personality. So the Eastern wisdom goes much deeper than that. I'm going to speak whether my speech and the talk will be taken. You forget about that. Just express it. Be focused. We all have that dual personality. So I dissolve it, or we should dissolve it by discernment and dispassion, the power of discernment and dispassion. How to change your perception? Simple way. You become aware whether this impulse or this desire or this thought is coming from the intellect or already screened by an intellect, screened by the knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of Eastern wisdom. What is Eastern wisdom? Study Eastern wisdom to study yourself. So, what happens? You have screened it. Now you see that this situation is not fair. Yes, I have a friend long back. Last year, he had a tremendous fight with the daughter. Now, father had a very soft corner. He said, what should I do? I said, the problem came from inside you. You did not allow your daughter to perceive the world independently and work. But now the problem is there. I said, you start sending the email every day, addressing something positive. You think of her positive attitude or response towards so many things. Remember the past. 6 months, he sent it. After the 6 months, the daughter says that I love you, Dad. First, I have to change my perception as a seeker. You can find a solution. I've guided a lot of people in that. So the root of the conflict is ignorance. So first I have an ignorance. It is beginningless. We discussed about it. It is a beginningless ignorance. After the ignorance, we start entering into the likes and dislikes. This likes and dislikes causes the attachment and detachment. That attachment and detachment causes the delusion. And the delusion guides my behavior and attitude. I have to change it. That is all about the 8 steps regarding that. And this guy told me that he told me uh, in the absence of the daughter that I realized that I kept those grudges in my mind for so many years towards my daughter. And that is why we had a reaction. I created an unfavorable situation for. So in a happy moment, he was telling me that you see that, you told me, and now we have a wonderful relationship. And she needed help and I paid him. So just out of the joke, he was saying that, I had a loss after having a good relationship. But I enjoy this loss because I am able to contribute to her life. These things happens. Think in the format of my perception changes. My perception changes, my behavior and attitude changes. So when my behavior and attitude changes, it changes the way I think, the way I speak, and the way I act. So when I change my thinking, speaking, and acting, it changes my personal life, my family life, my social life. It will definitely change. I can bet you. So what is happening? Gradually, you are awakening to discernment and dispassion in your life. That is the last four step. I told you, we refine, we redefine, and we shine. How? Our life, our thought, speech, and action, our behavior and attitude, we start responding in a different way. I listened to you because I cannot attend your live sessions. I said, very good. So I will continue sending you the files. So you see that what happens. So almost after every 2 or 3 months, I'm not even helping you to recognize the gender. So that person writes to me almost after 2 months. Thank you for sending me the file. So at least after 2 months, you look at the file. You are not listening regularly. You are not changing. It is not that, I spy. Because the way you are clear about yourself, so I will be very clear about you also. Unless we change our perception, the life is not going to change. And simple, the last, I'm repeating it again. I want to expand myself. I want a permanent happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That is real self. Where is the problem? Am I really the real self? You don't say it, but the mind still has a doubt. I have to prove it. So the first step of proving is that I'm of the nature of happiness. Why I'm hesitated over this activity? I'm seeking happiness. Where? Outside, but I'm of the nature of happiness. So should you stop doing that action? No. But when you think like this, hesitation of doing that particular activity is gone. Now you can perform the task better. Are you getting it? You can communicate with your daughter much better. I'm just giving an example. Something happened, we should not go in detail. Something happened in the life of Ashok, and they both were talking to me. I said, you both have to change. No one is going to change outside. I have to change. Why? Because I have to be a seeker. So the proportion by which you change your situation and condition in your life. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed and place, position, and posture. Just think of, my friends, think of it. Even the first step, you are changing your perception towards the body. You look at very minutely. You are simply changing your perception, and the perception in the form of the memories, hesitation, reaction, which is stored in my storehouse of memory, which I normally say information gathering system. It collects all the information, it multiplies within, and then it causes lot of challenges in everyday life. Oh, being comfortable, being comfortable. Do you really change your perception what it means by being comfortable? That will bring a tremendous change in your life. How it will bring a change in my life? I'm uncomfortable with my boss or with my honey these days, etc., etc. And our mind says that. Okay, mind is saying that I have to change this. Do you see that? The application being carefree. You are carefree for any activity, for any thought, speech, and action. Why? You have a belief. I'm of the nature of peace and happiness, love and wisdom. But we apply the step of being carefree. I see the content and the container, they are different. Content and container. Contents is thought, feeling, and emotions. Oh, so that memory has a good memory of discernment and dispassion, and also has, you can say, bad memory of reaction, anxiety, holding your something in your life. Yes, yes. And then you see that one, only one part of understanding, one part of the perception that these six neighbors belongs to the world nature, not to me. That is why I have introduced the neighbor number one, the world outside, the universe. I have an inherent relationship with the world. You contemplate and extract the meaning. Ah, home sweet home. Strong lock inside and strong lock outside. But if I'm not a seeker, I'm imprisoned by many layers of locks. What are those locks? Ignorance, attachment and detachment, and delusion, and foolishness. Second neighbor is the physical body. My master used to say that if I sit in the body all the time, I become too much egoistic. Another way to understand, I think, speak, and act with reference to the world outside or with reference to the body. That is what we are understanding by these six neighbors. Third neighbor is the breath, the energy. We already understood that what we discussed today, how do you perceive this? So the master is saying that this breath with the body is not the life. Life is something continuous, eternal, and different from the clinging to the body and the breath. Fourth neighbor is the mind. Who does this clinging? The mind. My perception to the mind should change. What it means. The moment it goes into anxiety, allow the intellect to hammer the mind. Why you have an anxiety? What you are seeking? During the day, I'm talking about it. And the fifth, I-ness in the intellect. Intellect, I should put the intellect. I should put the knowledge into the intellect. Why to change the perception? Why to get rid of the sixth neighbor is the ignorance. And then I remind myself, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, happiness within me. So what will happen if you are doing this Shanti mantra every day? One day the mind will say, no, you start with happiness. I'm of the nature of happiness. That is why happiness is present in the known world. And that is why the happiness is awaiting me for the unknown world. Do you see, I've been guiding you that Shanti, happiness to the known world, to the unknown world, and happiness is me. So when we become a seeker, the first thing we recognize, happiness is my nature. I can tell you my own experience of extraction of the truth. Doctor says, they have given me lot of pills. I've taken only one pill until today. Well, what is supposed to be the painkiller? It may happen, it may not happen. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Peace. I'm of the nature of peace. It doesn't mean the impulsive mind may have the past impression. They are jumping around. But now you have separated. The peace is you, and foreign elements are the impulsive nature. Previously, that impulsive nature was me. Peace is somewhat scattered. If my desires are fulfilled, then I will be in peace. I believe you are getting into it. I'm making such a simple. Oh, Sarvesham, Sarvesham, Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham, Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham of the nature of completeness. Who is this I? Is the real self. Due to the ignorance, I feel I am the body-mind complex. So that real self is complete in itself. We mix up. Oh, you're talking of this body and the mind. No. So when you stay focused and you have that perception through your intellect, it will take care of you. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Auspiciousness. What is auspiciousness? Favorable condition. When? All the time. So even if you have a pain in the body, yes, at least pain gives me an opportunity to be aware of that part which is not doing good. So let me take care of it. Oh, the same thing, pain in the mind? Yes. It also informs you. Do something. Change your perception. So at the mental level or the emotional level, you have to change the perception. At the physical level, yes, you have to take care. With a clear understanding. What is born, you have understood. Look at the breath, the flow of the breath. You know, the meditation should be a flow, a natural flow of the mental consciousness to the pure consciousness. Flow of the breath means you are aware of the breath that is moving in and out. No doubt, when you are aware of the flow of the breath, you're also aware of the flow of the breath through each nostril. In that moment of awareness of the flow of the breath, almost you are doing nothing. We are changing the perception from the start in today's meditation until now. Because change in perception comes through the intellect, means the knowledge, to the mind. We are not forcing the mind to change its perception. When you force the mind, when you do the mantra, when you do the breathing, when you forcibly sit in a posture, everything is so casual. Knowledge is such as the softest thing to understand. Knowledge is very soft. Ignorance is very crude and hard. You're looking at the breath, or simple, you are aware of the breath. I won't use the word, you focus on the breath. Focus means an effort, casually. You are aware, that is enough. You are aware of the breath, that is enough. You are aware of the body and the breath, that is enough. You are aware of the body, breath, and listening to me. That is also enough. You see, many things are going in perception. Hmm. Why don't you drop Om Shanti? It's a casual approach, looking at the 16 segments, and you are dropping Om Shanti to these 16 segments of fingers. You will start experiencing a tremendous feeling, vibes, energy. Yes, if you feel it, it's good. If you don't feel it, that too is good. We are not pushing over the boundary. We are in the mode of knowledge. My master used to say that if you are 100% clear about the real self one, and you're clear about 100% clear about the step of these principles, the knowledge alone can lead you to a higher, deeper state of meditation. Now, moving the mind inside the heart, visualize the triangle of any color pointing upward and dropping Om Shanti to each side of a triangle. Shanti means the Sukha, Sanskrit word. Sanskrit is a spiritual language. So I told you Sukha. Su means good and Kha means the space. Shanti means when your perception is of good space, you are in peace. Good space means more or less empty space, from where the word mindfulness has come. And when you find you are able to sync, move the mind, so we enter into the ultimate, so called ultimate good space. Mind seems to stop there. You say Shanti and do nothing. It doesn't mean if the thought disturbs you, you don't return to the triangle. Don't be, don't be obstinate. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it in your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down, we'll share our experiences. Just speak out whatever is in your mind without fear or favor. Yes, Stephen, how are you?
Good, sir. Thank you very much. Um, Thanks for the lesson. It's always a good reminder. It again, for me, I look at it from a heightened awareness, applying the principles, and most importantly is realizing that the world outside's not changing. Um, so it's my responsibility to make sure that I know that I'm the peace and the happiness. And you talk about perception. So it's important to have to look at it since the world isn't changing, my perception has to change. And if I look at my perception of the world without ego and without expectations, it becomes easier and easier every day. So
Yes,
my
yes.
my it's almost I close my eyes and I just go into this deep. Like I've said, I've been drawn to my heart center the second I close my eyes, and everything goes away. So I appreciate it. So thank you.
Beautiful, yeah. My perception, and then you also said about the ego. Remember, always remember that karma yoga is 10% outside, it is 90% in the intellect. The way I perceive this event, the way I'm going to perform an action. So it is hitting the ego all the time. No, it is the existence. Oh, thank you for your lesson. No, it is the existence who helped us to be together. And that is why I talk and you received. So do you have that perception? First, the perception starts with the knowledge. So the karma yoga is 90% inside. My mental attitude, right, good, proper attitude. That defines the perception. And after that perception, you can talk to anyone. You can perform any kind of a karma yoga. Beautifully said. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you for the lesson. My reminder from today's lecture is that I'm not helping anyone. Existence is helping others through me. And that caused some contemplation during the meditation. And indeed, any action that happens, it happens due to prarabdha and past impressions. And then the ego comes and says, I did this action.
I did this act. Yes.
Which is if I think about it, it's really nonsense, because so many factors are out of control of this ego. So many resources have nothing to do with the ego, but provided by the nature, by other people, by anything but this ego. And still the ego claims I did it. So yes, this is true. And my meditation was peaceful and calm, and absorption at the end was really fast. Thank you.
Beautifully said, Dennis. Beautifully you. That is what the understanding is. So when I understand that I-ness, it is simply an I thought. No, no, you are guiding us. No, you are giving me an opportunity to express the principles of Eastern wisdom. And then, so I'm able to express because you are changing. It is, it is not my, no credit goes to me. Credit goes to you because you have given me an opportunity. By these thoughts and feeling, you continue to work on your ego. That is the way it should work. And that is what, Stephen said in a different way. How are you, Brandy? And then we'll go to.
I'm good, thank you. My experience, my response, I guess, to the lesson was kind of similar to Dennis and Stephen, except that I just really recognize that like nothing from the outside is going to fix it, right? Or fix me or save me. And I think a lot of times we look to all the external for the answer, for the fix. So still working on the perception, and my meditation was really good and peaceful. Thank you.
No one is responsible for my sorrow and the suffering. Once you start that my parents not responsible, and it will take a couple of weeks in the months when you are 100% clear, you will hardly have any negativity towards your parents. Just for example, that will also help not to have the negativity of perception towards your friends, towards your siblings, wherever you are working. That is how the masters have designed these principles. Rightly said, yes, we have to continuously work. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. The lesson, two things stood out for me. One is the alarm system that we have to protect ourselves from the outside world. The reverse jail, I guess, is another way to look at it, was very intriguing. And then the other aspect that was my takeaway is, and it was my mother's saying for years and years and years, and that is the constant rain sinks in. And so when you talked about that person and after 2 months sent you the email or whatever, that's like a big flood rainstorm. It doesn't do anything any good. It just washes away. So we need to be every day, just little by little.
Yeah.
Meditation was deep and peaceful. Thank you.
Even when you start thinking that why I'm blaming, mind why you are blaming someone outside, and you start digging deep inside, you will find it is the ego. And the best part is that ego is nowhere and nowhere. It doesn't live anywhere. That is how the process of contemplation and reflection should work. And you will find that you open up. Now you are not in a prison. That is what I gave a metaphor. Very strong locks, many layers of the security, so that no one can go out. Those layers of the security started from the ego, then the impulsive desire, with a strong attachment, with the delusion. These are the different locks. So we find ourselves imprisoned, so we will suffer. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. I really liked the define, redefine, and shine. Because sometimes we defined it and it wasn't accurate. The perspective was not at all accurate. And then to redefine it gives us that release of, stop blaming our upbringing for why we behave the way we do or whatever it is we're blaming. And then we get to shine. So all these things that cause suffering are unfavorable situations that allow us to shine.
Beautifully said, yes. Discernment and dispassion is, I have defined it, but still I'm into anxiety. Let me redefine it until I shine. So what is means redefine? I have to rethink. I have to contemplate and reflect again. So when you are contemplating and reflecting on one part of the mind is full of the ego, it wants to react, but you're redefining it. So it slows down. Again, you're redefining it. It further slows down and it drops. That is what happens. That is why I use this word. Thank you. Thank you, making it more clear. How are you, Christina?
And well, thank you. I think what landed for me today was the idea that existence works through me, almost like I'm a channel for it. So when there's the hitting that wall, then we know, right, we're being blocked from just carrying out whatever the existence wants us to carry out in all parts of our lives.
Yes. We should recognize that I feel I'm imprisoned. That is why I have an anxiety, duality, conflict, and reaction. You see that? I'm imprisoned. And the Eastern wisdom gives you that why you are imprisoned, why you are in a prison. Because of your attachment, detachment, delusion, ignorance, ego, body identification. So you identify with any of the six neighbors, you're there. That needs to be instantly. The masters wants that my mind should instantly recognize this. Oh, this is what it is. And you become free. Good. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. So mine is calm. It's like that the stability that I look outside in that world, generally it's not there, and that's created inner conflict inside me. And it's like that stability is me, and then I have to look the world. So the change will come from inside, and it will go outside then.
Yes, 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 you're right. It's a cold, snowy winter. Do I get upset? No, I just put on the warm clothes. Finished. So that warm cloth is passion and discernment. Do you see that? That is discernment and dispassion. Oh, it's very hot. Okay, you're already into AC. So discernment and dispassion, I'm bringing that at a very material level. So once we understand that, now instead of a cold, snowy winter, it is anxiety. So equate the anxiety like a cold winter. Oh, shut up. Cover yourself. Cover yourself with a discernment and dispassion. And it is 100% possible, my friends. Eastern wisdom, what it teaches, it is 100% applicable. How are you, Terry? Terry is, yes.
The thank you, because the lesson really uh, was, it fit to the situation that I'm at this moment.
Yeah.
A lot I was very well applying
Good.
these things, and then to be able to discern and deal with a lot of things, and a lot of things are happening. And then this morning I woke up and there were 3 more problems that happened.
Yeah.
Like, realize that this thing, this and this and this, I found out. And I thought, oh my God. And now I'm going to be late for class. But the lesson made those problems, I saw them differently. I was able to apply it right at the same time as the thing is happening.
Beautiful.
That was very helpful.
You see, I don't see any, no one sees your body was shivering or trembling almost for the last, I would say, 3 and 4 months. So it is the mind that has to take over. Mind has to be purified. The greater the purification of the mind. Now, there is a stigma. I would use the word stigma with reference to the problem or the so-called the disease. At least you are able to move your body. What happens? Compare this body is in deep sleep, and that body is in a waking state. So in a deep sleep state, this body doesn't move. At least your body moves in a waking state. It is much better than my body. Our perception, the moment you change your perception, it changes your it changes your brain also. I don't want to go into that medical field because when you change your perception, brain also undergoes a change. So when the brain undergoes a change, the chemical changes takes place.
Yeah.
How are you, Ashok?
Sir, namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Sir, perception, मान्यता, assumptions,
वो सब एक
तो
ही है.
अच्छा सब एक ही है.
Perception, assumption, imagination, more
Okay.
or less, they move along the same line.
Okay. So I thought that, sir, discernment and dispassion is a
Dispassion. Or you
discernment
are
and
looking there. Who is there?
discernment and dispassion are the master key of contemplation and reflection. You can say. So
Okay.
that is the master key. You can say. I mean, without that, we cannot do anything. So we have to
cannot
focus on that. I have to focus on that.
focus on that. Yeah.
Vivek and Vairagya, contemplation
Don't
and
start teaching anyone. You teach yourself.
हाँ yeah, I am teaching myself. मैं अपने लिए कह रहा हूँ, मैं किसी और को नहीं कह रहा हूँ.
I thought that you are looking at someone. I will teach you.
नहीं, मैं किसी को नहीं कह रहा. सर मैं हनी को भी नहीं कहता. मैं अब किसी को नहीं
हाँ?
कहता. मैं सिर्फ
किसी
अपने
को
को ही
नहीं
कहता हूँ. मगर lesson is for me, not for others. That is the main lesson.
Very good.
All lessons for me only.
Yes,
And I
you
have to
teach.
apply the Eastern knowledge. I have to apply the Eastern knowledge for my benefit, not for
Yes,
the
yes.
another benefit. First, I have to do my benefit. I have to very very क्या बोलना चाहिए उसको. मैं अपने लिए सोचता हूँ मैं.
Yes, you teach.
That's why I'm happy nowadays.
Very good. Thank you. We will meet again.
Thank you, sir. Namaste,
Namaste.
everyone.
Namaste.
Yes, namaste.
Namaste. All is good. सर पहले आप